The sun had set over the small village, casting a warm orange glow over the thatched roofs and the snow-covered streets. The air was crisp and cold, filled with the scent of wood smoke and baking bread. In a small cottage, a young girl named Gerda sat by the window, gazing out at the snowflakes gently falling from the sky. She was a gentle soul, with hair as golden as the sun and eyes as blue as the summer sky. Gerda's grandmother, a kind and wise woman, sat beside her, knitting a warm scarf to keep the cold away. The fire crackled and spat, casting a warm light over the room. "Tell me a story, grandmother," Gerda said, her voice barely above a whisper. Her grandmother smiled, her eyes twinkling like the stars on a clear night. "Ah, my dear, I have a story for you. It is a story of the Snow Queen, a tale of magic and wonder." Gerda's eyes grew wide with excitement as her grandmother began to speak. The Snow Queen, she told Gerda, was a beautiful and powerful queen who ruled over the land of snow and ice. Her palace was made of crystal, shining like 1,000 diamonds in the sunlight. The queen's hair was as white as snow, and her eyes were as blue as the sky on a winter's day. She was a just and fair ruler, loved by all who lived in her kingdom. As Gerda listened, she felt the room grow quieter, the fire burning lower. The snowflakes outside seemed to fall more slowly, as if they too were listening to the story. Gerda's grandmother continued, her voice weaving a spell of peace and tranquility. "The Snow Queen's kingdom is a place of wonder, where the trees are heavy with snow and the rivers flow like crystal. It is a place where dreams come alive, and magic is real." Gerda's eyes grew heavy, her eyelids drooping as she listened to her grandmother's words. The room was warm and cozy, filled with the scent of baking bread and the sound of the fire crackling. Outside, the snowflakes continued to fall, casting a gentle silence over the village. Gerda's grandmother smiled, her eyes shining with love. "But that is not the end of the story, my dear. There is more to tell, and I will tell it to you tomorrow night. For now, it is time for sleep." The room grew quieter, the darkness outside pressing in. Gerda's grandmother tucked her in, pulling the blankets up to her chin. "Sleep tight, my dear," she whispered. "May your dreams be sweet and your rest be refreshing." Gerda smiled, feeling the warmth and love of her grandmother's words. She closed her eyes, letting the gentle rhythm of the snowflakes outside lull her into a deep and peaceful sleep. The snowflakes continued to fall, casting a gentle silence over the village, as Gerda drifted off into a world of dreams and magic. The next morning, Gerda woke up to the sound of birds singing outside her window. The sun was shining brightly, casting a warm light over the snow-covered village. She stretched her arms and yawned, feeling refreshed and happy. Her grandmother was already up, busy in the kitchen, making breakfast. The smell of freshly baked bread and porridge filled the air, making Gerda's stomach growl with hunger. "Good morning, my dear," her grandmother said, smiling as Gerda entered the kitchen. I made your favorite breakfast, oatmeal with honey and fruit. Gerda's eyes lit up as she sat down at the table. She loved her grandmother's cooking, and this breakfast was one of her favorites. As she ate, she asked her grandmother to continue the story of the Snow Queen. Her grandmother smiled. "Ah, yes, the Snow Queen. Where did we leave off?" Gerda thought for a moment. "You told me about her kingdom, and how it was a place of wonder and magic." Her grandmother nodded. "Yes, that's right. Well, the Snow Queen had a special gift, the power to create and control the snow and ice. She could make the most beautiful snowflakes, each one unique and delicate." As they finished breakfast, Gerda's grandmother suggested they take a walk in the village. The snow was still falling gently, casting a peaceful silence over the streets. They walked hand in hand, taking in the sights and sounds of the village. They saw children playing in the snow, laughing and throwing snowballs at each other. They saw the villagers, smiling and waving as they went about their daily tasks. As they walked, Gerda's grandmother told her more about the Snow Queen's kingdom. She told her about the beautiful gardens, filled with frozen fountains and sparkling ice sculptures. She told her about the kind and gentle creatures that lived in the kingdom, the rabbits and deer, the birds and squirrels. Gerda listened, her eyes wide with wonder, as she imagined the Snow Queen's kingdom. As they turned a corner, they came across a small shop, filled with beautiful crafts and gifts. The sign above the door read, "Mrs. Jensen's Toys and Treasures." Gerda's grandmother smiled. "Let's go inside, my dear. Mrs. Jensen makes the most beautiful toys and gifts, and I think you'll love her shop." Gerda's eyes lit up as they entered the shop, filled with the most wonderful sights and smells. There were wooden toys, and porcelain dolls, and beautiful handmade quilts. Mrs. Jensen greeted them warmly. "Ah, Gerda, it's so nice to see you. And your grandmother, as always, it's a pleasure." Gerda's grandmother smiled. "We're just browsing, Mrs. Jensen. Gerda loves your shop, and I thought we'd come in and take a look around." As they looked around the shop, Gerda found a beautiful porcelain doll, with hair as white as snow and eyes as blue as the sky. She picked it up, cradling it in her arms, and smiled at her grandmother. "I love her, grandmother. Can I please get her?" Her grandmother smiled. "We'll ask Mrs. Jensen, my dear." Mrs. Jensen smiled. "Ah, you found the Snow Princess doll. She's one of my favorites too." Gerda's grandmother asked, "How much does she cost, Mrs. Jensen?" Mrs. Jensen thought for a moment. "Let me see. I think I can let you have her for a few coins." Gerda's grandmother nodded. "That sounds fair. We'll take her." Gerda was overjoyed, hugging the doll tightly. Mrs. Jensen smiled. "I'm glad you like her, Gerda. She's a special doll, made with love and care." As they left the shop, Gerda's grandmother suggested they take a walk by the river. The snow was falling gently, casting a peaceful silence over the water. They walked hand in hand, watching the snowflakes dance on the river's surface. The sound of the water was soothing, a gentle whisper that seemed to lull the world to sleep. As they walked, Gerda's grandmother told her more about the Snow Queen's kingdom. She told her about the beautiful ice palace, with its sparkling towers and glittering halls. She told her about the Snow Queen's kind heart, and how she loved nothing more than to make her subjects happy. Gerda listened, her eyes wide with wonder, as she imagined the Snow Queen's kingdom. The sun was beginning to set, casting a warm golden light over the village. The snow was falling more gently now, and the air was filled with a soft, peaceful silence. Gerda's grandmother smiled. "Let's go back home, my dear. It's getting late, and I think it's time for a nap." Gerda nodded, feeling sleepy and content. As they walked back to their little cottage, the snowflakes continued to fall, casting a magical spell over the village. They entered the cottage, and Gerda's grandmother made her a warm cup of tea. They sat by the window, watching the snow fall, and Gerda's grandmother stroked her hair gently. The room was warm and cozy, filled with the scent of baking and the sound of snow falling outside. Gerda felt her eyes growing heavy, and she snuggled into her grandmother's side. Her grandmother smiled. "It's time for sleep, my dear. The Snow Queen's kingdom will be there tomorrow, and we can visit again in our dreams." Gerda nodded, feeling sleepy and safe. She closed her eyes, and her grandmother sang a soft lullaby, her voice like a gentle breeze on a summer's day. The snow continued to fall outside, casting a peaceful silence over the village. The room grew quieter, and Gerda's breathing slowed. Her grandmother's voice faded away, and the only sound was the soft falling of snow. The world was still, and Gerda was asleep, surrounded by the magic of the Snow Queen's kingdom. The snowflakes continued to fall, gently covering the village in a blanket of white. The moon rose high in the sky, casting a silver glow over the snow. The night was peaceful, and the world was at rest.